Find a comfortable position to lie down or sit. Take a deep breath and then exhale slowly. Repeat several times, feeling each breath. Try to calm your mood. Forget about today's worries and stress. Close your eyes. Imagine yourself in a peaceful place and feel the beauty around you. Now, let's begin. Let this story take you into a wonderful world, accompanying you through a quiet, peaceful night. Sunshine on the sparkling sea, the sea breeze gently blowing, the air filled with salty sea smell. Live in the beach fox leisurely strolling on the beach, it is accustomed to seeing the ups and downs of the waves every day. The disposition of the waves know it like the back of his hand. One morning the fox was wandering along the beach when he suddenly heard a voice from behind him. "Hello, fox." The fox turned to see a wolf who had never seen the sea before standing in front of him. "Hello, brother wolf." The fox responded in a friendly manner. The wolf had curiosity in his eyes. "Fox, please tell me, what does the sea look like?" The fox smiled mysteriously and said in a deep voice, "The sea, it is like a boundless body of water, sometimes calm as a mirror, sometimes raging like fury." The wolf was even more curious and couldn't help but ask, "So, is the sea under your jurisdiction?" With a belly full of calculations, the fox proudly replied, "Of course, I live here, so naturally it is under my jurisdiction." The wolf looked at the fox with reverence and trust in his eyes. "Then may I go with you to see the sea?" The fox pretended to be generous. "Of course, follow me." Together they walked along the shoreline to a place with an open view of the sea, the waves lapping gently against the sand, white waves splashing away. The fox stood on the beach and said in a loud voice, "You surge up." Miraculously, as if the waves had heard the fox's command, they really surged up. The wolf was dumbfounded by this sight and admired the fox's power more and more in his heart. Then, the fox continued to command the waves, "Now, retreat." The waves did indeed recede obediently. Surprised, the wolf asked the fox, "Can you really control the sea?" The fox licked his lips in triumph, "That's for sure. Keep watching." It then said to the waves, "Surge up and amble down, and don't stop until I command you to stop." The waves did exactly as the fox had said, and surged on, seemingly in endless obedience to its commands. The wolf looked at the fox with adoration and conviction. It imagined that it too could have such great power, but it did not know that it was all an elaborate deception designed by the fox. The sun was still warmly sprinkled on the beach, the sea breeze brought gusts of coolness, and the waves gently lapped at the shore, making soothing sounds. The fox and the wolf stood on the beach, with an infinite expanse of sea water in front of them, as if they were connected to the sky. The wolf was struck by the magnificence of the sight, and there was a gleam of wonder and awe in his eyes. The fox stood on a reef with a lofty stance, as if it were a ruler. It slowly raised its paw and commanded in a loud voice to the sea, "Waves, you come up." As the wolf watched, the waves did obey the fox's command and came swiftly toward the shore, the waves glistening in the sunlight as if cheering the fox's command. The surge of the waves brought gusts of white foam that wet the beach. The wolf's jaw dropped as he watched, and inwardly he became even more convinced of the fox's prowess. The fox smiled slightly and continued with the command, "Now, back off." Once again, the waves did as commanded and quickly retreated into the distance, and the beach returned to calm. The fox turned and looked at the wolf, the smug look impossible to ignore. "Did you see that?" The fox said proudly, "I can control the waves easily, and they do exactly what I tell them to do." wolf could not hide his inner admiration and asked with respect, "Fox, how did you come to have such an ability? This is simply amazing." The fox winked and replied mysteriously, "It's my gift. I am able to harness nature, and the waves will obey me as long as I want them to. But that's just the beginning. You haven't seen the whole thing yet." The wolf grew more and more convinced of the fox's authority and couldn't wait to see more. The fox watched the sea proudly, ready to show even more power. He raised his paw and commanded with a mighty voice, "Surge up and down until I command you to stop." The waves immediately rose up as commanded and began to undulate as if in an endless dance. Wave after wave, the waves surged to the beach and back quickly, making a thunderous noise. The waves splashed and the water droplets formed a rainbow in the sunlight, a spectacular scene. The wolf watched in awe, completely overwhelmed by the scene before it. It turned its head and looked at the fox with admiration. "You are truly amazing, Fox. I've never seen anyone or anything so powerful." The fox smiled slightly, cunning in his eyes. "You see, this is my power. The waves are always at my command, and they know they cannot defy me." In front of this magnificent scene, the wolf was completely shocked by the fox's authority. The heart of the fox has long been admired by the body, but do not know that they are step by step into the fox's trap. Early in the morning, the beach is still calm. The sea breeze gently brushed, bringing a burst of freshness. The sunlight sprinkled on the surface of the sea, sparkling as if countless diamonds in the glittering. After the scene of the fox's display of authority, the wolf's admiration for the fox had reached its peak. In his mind, he kept fantasizing that he could control the waves as easily as the fox did. That day, he found the fox again. "Fox, I also want to be able to control the waves like you," the wolf said with great anticipation. The fox smiled wryly and narrowed his eyes. "Of course you can, as long as you do it my way." The wolf couldn't wait to ask, "What should I do?" The fox said nonchalantly, "All you need to do is to stand in front of the waves like I do and jump in bravely, and the waves will naturally obey you and won't hurt you." Hearing this, the wolf was nervous and excited at the same time inside, and it looked towards the vast sea with anticipation in its heart. Is it really possible? It was a little hesitant, but its trust in the fox eventually overcame its hesitation. "Of course, don't you trust me?" The fox put on a righteous face. "I trust you." The wolf made up his mind and walked to the beach. As the fox watched, the wolf took a deep breath, gathered his courage, and shouted, "Waves, at my command, come up." The wolf jumped into the sea. However, the waves paid no attention to its command, but instead swept the wolf into the deep sea with even greater force. The wolf struggled desperately, but the huge waves pushed it mercilessly deeper and deeper, lapping at the wolf's body in waves, causing it to gradually lose its strength. In desperation and fear, the wolf realized that he had made a fatal mistake. He had gullibly believed the fox's lies. Before long, the wolf dies as the waves consume him. At high tide, the waves washed the wolf's body back to the beach as a gift to the fox. The fox walked up to the wolf's body, looked down at the body that was once full of life, and smiled coldly. "Stupid wolf, how naive." It leaned down and gently ruffled the wolf's carcass with its paw with a wry smile. "Fools are supposed to give fruit to the cunning," the fox whispered, and then began to enjoy his trophy. In the sunlight, there was a strange gleam in his eyes, as if he was gloating over his own wisdom. The waves continued to swell as if mocking the wolf's stupidity and the fox's cunning. And that beautiful beach remembered the story forever, a tragedy of folly, trust, and betrayal.